Let's watch the video. Why is the fish guy always in? Like, I love that the fish guy is always in all of the videos. I need to get that skin. Dinos. Who else loves dinosaurs? I do. Favorite dinosaur? T-Rex. Those guys. I mean, it looks beautiful. The camera here looks beautiful. Like, there's no... This is what I've been wanting for so long, and I mean, I'm excited because once I start getting more PlayStation games, it's gonna be like, you could see everything. Optimus Pride. So this is the character you get for the level 100 battle pass. Awesome. I want him. I saw that gun. The huge, yeah. All right, so those explode. Let's remember that in the gameplay. Oh. Cool. Invite only, voice chat. I want to change that to friends and teammates. Text chat, give me on. Filter mature language on. Public games on. All set. The top is like a little off for me, but you know what? Who cares? It's fine. Sounds good. Let's look in the... Oh my gosh, Batman's in there? Wait, you can actually buy this one, right? Like, oh my god, I want him. But it's, I don't really want this one though, you know? But he's cute, I like him, and he would be another DC character. But is this part of the Flash thing? Oh, that's cool. That's cool too. All right, what's that supposed to be? Some of Batman's moves. All right, and then here's my buddy, who I have already gotten because he's my favorite. Are they going through a DC, which would be nice? But it's like, these are the DC characters: Batman, Harley Quinn, Beast Boy. Okay, we've got Beast Boy, who is a very cool one. 1,800 V-Bucks though. Pizza and that looks like an Xbox controller, which is, and then Beast Boy can transform into that. Cool. They have Catwoman. I mean, there are so many DC characters. Finally, Wonder Woman and Deathstroke. Looks cool. I mean, I kind of want to waste money on it because I need more DC characters. Bloodsport, never heard of you. But like, where's Superman? Where's Green Lantern? Where's Martian Manhunter? Where's Hawkwoman? Where's the Atom? Where's Red Tornado? Where's Captain Atom? Where's Green Arrow? There are so many DC characters, and I mean, maybe it's because of the contract between DC and Fortnite, but Marvel has so many more characters. Here is Optimus Primal. This will be in the new Transformers movie. And dinosaurs, if you like the dinosaurs. This guy. I always liked this mushroom head guy. He was cool. Bigfoot. Oh, he's cute. Oh, yeah. Ooh, fuck. Ooh, hey. Nice legs on him. Nice legs. Okay, so out of all the DC characters, I mean, I'm just disappointed. It's, you know, Batman Zero's okay. this one would be a little too much for me because he's got grenades. Like, unless those are like smoke bombs or flash grenades, Batman does. That's not Batman style. And I like this one more than that one. But I'm liking Wonder Woman. Obviously, Harley Quinn is an awesome character, but I'm not gonna spend money on it. I would rather have Superman or Green Lantern. Am I the only one alone in this opinion? Black Manta's cool. Black Manta is the father of Aqualad, Kal Duram. But again, it's just like, you know, it's so... And where's Robin? Where are all the Young Justice characters? Superboy? It's just... I don't know. I'm just disappointed. I mean, Black Cat, Catwoman. I mean, Catwoman looks awesome and sexy, but... Is this Wonder Woman's glider? I love Wonder Woman, don't get me wrong. Love this Wonder Woman, but... Like, when you look at the Marvel, if you look at them when they have the Marvel sale, there's the whole shop, the whole store is covered in Marvel characters. This is probably all they have of DC, and it's disappointing. It's disappointing. As a gamer, I'm disappointed. I'm not gonna get the battle pass right away, but let's go ahead. Anybody who wants to join, you're welcome to join, because I wouldn't mind it. It's gonna be take me some getting used to on this controller, but let's check out the sensitivity as well. So right now it's all normal, which it just doesn't work for me. Build mode. I don't do build mode. I don't like the music, so I'm going to turn it off. I remember I just don't like, where would that be? Sounds? Oof, I will change that. I don't like this, like, constant noise. But anyways, if anybody's out there and they want to join, let me know. Also, it would be greatly appreciated if you had Twitter to retweet. I can't post on Instagram right now, so... It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a new take. Where is, let's see, I'm gonna make sure that I have visual sound effects, turn that on, because this helps a lot. If you can't hear anything. Yeah, I was just gonna say, turn that on. And we'll see how the sensitivity works here. Controller auto run, I wanna turn that off, I don't like that. Look sensitivity, aim sensitivity. I think this is kind of what I had for the Xbox, but it still didn't feel like how the PC feels. But we'll see. We'll just check it out. It's so strange to me. And then there's a button on the Advanced Gamer Xbox where I can map like the A button or the X button, the jump button, so that when I'm like shooting or jumping around, I can still look, and I need to do that too. But let's do it. So they still have the big city, which is cool. They pretty much look like they added like a jungle, and that's right here, right? Yeah. So this will be interesting, especially with my little wrist brace. But I think it'll be cool. I'm here for it. And these are my Batman wings that I purchased with because you can get this from like Amazon or whatever. There's a code that you just put in and then you can get it. I want Beast Boy, I want Batman, and I want Wonder Woman. And if I could, I would want Harley Quinn. But I don't want to spend all my money. And it looks like the raptors are kind of like wildlife, but you can use them. Totally, and again, they're not Batman wings. It's just like they are Batman wings, but okay. What? Oh, buddy, you need to calm down. Oh, buddy, you need to calm down, please. I have no idea what's going on right now. This is all cool. Here's some stuff I can pick up. Is that raptor still trying to fight me? What's this? Stop it. Go away, raptor boy. I mean, come on, man. Stop trying to get me. Please? Are my raptors fighting? I'll help them. That's what you get for hurting my guy. Don't hurt my guy, bro. Hi, Pyro. How was your night? Okay, this is just strange because I put my foot down, I put my finger down for the Xbox One. And then like, come on, I'm just doing the reload. I'm not getting off my buddy. We'll name him Fang. Okay, his name is Fang. Hi, Fang. Come on, Fang. Woohoo! I need to get my health up. Oh, hey, we were just talking about health. Smooth. All smooth here. Come on, Fang, you can swim. That's good. Good to hear. And I didn't know there was a difference between... Oh, also, running through the mud helps against thermal guns. Basically makes your body heat, not visible. What did I say? Oh, my PlayStation 5 is the one with the CD slot that, like, you can actually... I didn't know there were two different ones. What, I'm all muddy! Is Fang dead? Oh, no, I need that. Fang's not dead, he's just in the water. Fang, what you doing, bruh? The digital one? So, like, my whole thing was, if they're gonna make one that you can't put a CD in, why doesn't it have more memory storage? Is this a shotgun? Drum shotgun. Like, 500 gigabytes? Doesn't seem like a lot. It's not a lot. You know, so you're gonna have to get another, am I in build? Oh, crap, you guys, I'm in build. I'm in build. Get off my raptor, yo! Oh, we killed him at the last second. Ooh, I will take 2 keys. We're in build, you guys. I forgot to change it to not build. That's okay. We'll have a good old time. Give me this. Give me this. They killed Fang. How dare they kill Fang? Give me this. And this looks like something I can touch.
I found what looks like an ancient, busted machine. It's a telescope, or some kind of stellar projector.
It's not, and I mean, I think that's how much mine has.
It will be key to my plans for the island.
What is this? A boomerang? Boomerang! I feel like Sokka from the Last Airbender. Ooh, there was somebody like right there. Boomerang! Was that a fish or a person? Oh goodness. I feel like I'm gonna die if I run over here. That's okay. Here we go. Oh, never mind. I guess we won. Winner, winner. I don't even know how to build. Oh. It's O. Woohoo! The fudge? Be good to have a sniper rifle right now. Oh god! It's kind of gross. The mud's kind of gross. Raptor? Are you Fang's brother? So what's going on with the dinosaurs? Is there like a Jurassic Park coming out I don't know about? Buddy. Yay! We should go get some guns, shouldn't we? I have 2 keys. That? I don't think I like that. Should I like this? The shadow tracker? I'm still interested to see what the boomerang does. Oh no. That's awesome. I'm happy it's Friday too. Hey, Fang number 2, get over here. Woo. We can also do rated or oh, a key. Where'd it go? There it is. But I don't really like to do that stuff. I got 2 keys. Nice. I knew that was happening. I've seen that so many times in other people's clips. They would say, I hate this game. They go open up a chest and they get just destroyed. So I'm going to change it to non-build. It's okay. I don't mind. This is Fortnite. I would play Dead by Daylight, but Dead by Daylight doesn't do what like Fortnite lets you do, where you can link your account to an Epic Games thing. So Xbox, my PC, and PlayStation all are the same account. Dead by Daylight would make me restart everything, and I'm like, plus it costs money to get Dead by Daylight. I thought it was free. I thought I got it for free. No, I don't want ranked. I feel like if I go do ranked, it's just gonna be so sweaty. So sweaty. No, and I'm not here for sweat. I'm here for like happiness. This guy's kind of cool, right? I mean, it's just frustrating because I would love to play Dead by Daylight on the PlayStation 5 because this feels really smooth. It feels like I'm not dropping any frames. It just feels nice, even with this weird controller. Same with the Xbox, but like, I mean, come on now. Okay, so I want Batman, but I don't want that one. I want this one. And I wish I could just get these wings. And I want Beast Boy, and I want Wonder Woman. I might buy Wonder Woman. Yeah, but there's no extra gaming button for on this controller. Advanced gaming button, so I can't do the jump while I'm aiming or moving. Oh, of course. Everything is about money. Money. I'll do it for money. Rick and Morty. So they kind of kept all of this area. They just added the... Man, maybe the... I don't know. They added new guns, they added new stuff, and they added like a new area. But it's the same chapter, so I can understand. I'm going to land over here. Oh, someone's over there. Never mind. I'm afraid. I'm afraid. I'm afraid, guys. I'm afraid. Someone's landing near me. No. Get out of here. Oi, oi, oi. Uh-oh. Got him. Thanks for that gun. LOL. What the flark is this? Oh, I had no shield. That was my bad. I wish I would have killed that other person though. 110 damage? Damn. $100 damage. 110 damage. I'm gonna go to the ice area. Cool. Same character again, that's fine. Alright, let's get some shields so I don't die in 2 seconds. Did they get rid of the slurm? Did they get rid of slurms, Mackenzie? Buddy! Everything's very blue right now. Alright, Mr. Boar, I'm gonna have to... Alright, Pumbaa. I'm gonna go and fight, so you have to stay here, because you can't use it. Come on. Gotcha. Got you. I'm getting my butt kicked. So this is what I mean when I can't press A and jump around, and then they have people who have ADHD and they jump around. Oh, at least I'm a new character. These things smell weird. Cool, I got the unicorn. Uh-oh, there's somebody around here too. I still haven't used the boomerang. I bet it's fun. So how do we do this, guys? How do we aim with this? Ah. Oh crap. Ah. Oh, cool. It's actually really overpowered. You don't even really have to aim. Someone's behind me? No? Okay. I have to shave my beard off tomorrow, so enjoy it while it's here. I mean, it'll grow back, but shit, driving like malicious. see some potion over here I can use. And I don't want anybody else to use this one, so I'm gonna just take it too. Even though I don't need it. Did they get rid of the samurai swords? Yeah, they got rid of samurai swords. Those were my fave. The beginning of last season, so overpowered. Somebody made a hole. So if I throw it. Sweet. Sweet. Thanks for all your shit. This one in particular. Hey, you guys, up here. Come on. You're dead. Go away. Gotta get out of here before I get my ass killed. I know where the key is because it's on the mini-map. Someone is right there. I'm gonna go ahead and try to get my butt into this chamber. Gain thermal vision. Oh, while riding animals. Now let me see. Will this work? Does nothing, okay. Does nothing, okay. Did they like take that away where you can just come in and hit the ground? Is this the same thing? "30 seconds till the storm starts to come." Oof, I love gold. I love gold! Look, they didn't take slurms away. Okay, so slurms still here. What is this? Should I keep enhance? Oh! Oh, I hate people like you. You little sneaky biatch. Oh, he had a friend. Hello, 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 hello? Who's out there? Hello? Hello? Early. Actually, take that shit away. Doesn't matter. Fuck, wrong button. Wrong gun. Wrong thing. Give me this back. Give me this back. Boomerang! Have any keys? That's a good gun. I like that gun. Less than a minute till the storm starts to move. Uh-oh. Better find out where they were shooting from quick. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, do we have time for the storm? The storm is coming. It's a-coming. Let me figure out. I'm gonna want to probably get rid of this weapon. Ooh. Anything good? Ooh, that looks good. Time to go. Ooh, that looks good too. Uh-oh. Boomerang! Go. I missed 1 HP. I'm gonna heal myself. Another person all over there. Let's see if we can go get them. I don't have the tracker on anymore, but that's okay. Couple wolves. Hey, I need a wolf. Come here. There they are. They're swimming. Don't worry, I'll come to you, guy. Good night. Thanks for your stuff, though. Someone's throwing a boomerang. Did we see them, chat? Where are they? Are they hiding? I saw a boomerang and somebody died right there. But thank you for responding, Tech Guy. So I don't feel like I'm just sitting here alone. Okay. Okay. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I want this. Goodbye. Okay, I had a key card, right? Yep. Let's go get the key card. Oops. Okay, set that right there. We'll come back to it. They added some, safe house play things. Were we going downstairs, or...? I think somebody just took that island. Where is this one? I kinda need to get down there. How do I get down there? I have absolutely no idea how to get down there. Can I... Nope. Where's it telling me to go? Okay, right there. Okay. Is there like a secret layer? Oh, did I just miss it? Yep, here it is. There you are. Alright. Cool. What's this gun? Enhanced flapjack rifle. I kind of want to just test it out. What's it do? Kind of cool. So here's a shotgun. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. Uh-oh. Alright, I hope I find a health thing. Oh snap. There's an Optimus Prime guy. I did not find health, but I have Flurm. Or Slurps or whatever. Is this a... Oh, okay, good to know. There you are. Oof, get up. Person right here. Hello there. Damn it. So that's the new sword, huh? Any of these pods heal? Or if I hit that, will I explode? Uh-oh. I really need to get out of here. Oops. Come on. The crown just dropped. That's fucking good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ooh, Orochimaru. Whoa. What's this guy do? Oh, thermal. There's an animal over there. Who we fighting? Who we fighting? Why are we fighting each other? Oh my gosh. I think there's a third party coming in. Okay. Point of all that though. Whoa. There you are. Thank you. Thank you. Are you still watching? Because I want you to watch this. Striking Shadow Snake. Yeah. What a dork. Hey, enough of you. How much HP do you have? There you go, finally. Boom, boom, ba-ba-dum, boom, boom, ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum, boom, boom, ba-da-dum. Poor llama. Boom, boom, ba-da-dum, boom, boom, ba-da-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-dum, boom, boom. Ready? Okie dokie. Uh-oh. That guy right there. Oh, he's mad. He's upset. He has no idea what he's doing. Time to collect Orochimaru. Alright. Boomerang! I don't know who I want to replace Boomerang with. My sneeze. Excuse me. I need a better shotgun. Or upgrade the one I have. I love the flush sound. The toilet flush sound makes it very realistic. Hold on, I kind of want the wolf, but it's getting attacked by a purple chicken. Alright. Hey, you. I don't like harmful animal creatures. Damn it, kill my fucking wolf. That's what you get. Oh. Hey, buddy. I know I said no harm to animals, but you're purple. They're shiny. There's two purples. Drop a weapon? Oh, someone's attacking me. Oh, someone's attacking me from the front. Oh, that's the chicken. You gotta be crapping me. You gotta be crapping me, guy. I'm like, what's going on? Chicken's attacking you. Really? I said I needed a shotgun. Thank you, Mr. Chicken. Striking Shadow Snake. Trying to get the high ground. Oh, just kidding. Damn it. I think these guys will help me. Yay. I hope there's not somebody here waiting it with like a sniper rifle as soon as I click on this. Oh, I think it's beneath the hill. Yeah. I don't really need it. I mean, the only thing I can need it for is ammo, and I don't need ammo. But I will stay here. And let's look. Oops. Oops. I want to open my map. How do I open my map on this thing? Wrong button. That's not it. The center pad? Oh, okay. Thank you. Wee. Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't get hurt. Cool. 12 players left. Bet you there's a bunch of people up there. At least one. Oh. Come here, little buddy. Come here, little buddy. Fun. Okay, this'll help. See, the mud turns your thermal off. Someone's coming, and they have mud. I can't see them. Oh, I can't see them. This actually's not good. Got you. Thanks, buddy. I wish I could heal you. Thank you for helping me. There's somebody else over there. Damn, this is really good. I love the thermal. Okay, someone's parachuting in. My buddy's almost dead. This sucks. Alright, see you later, buddy. Oh, you can? Oh, okay, let's go get it some meat. Cause that thermal's pretty good. Hey buddy, where you going? I'm a little scared though, cause he's super close to dying and there's a lot of people around me. Well, there's not, but there are people around me. Need to give him... Oh, there you are. See, my boy up there has the high ground. What you want to do, Raptor? Get my shield back up before... Come on, buddy, where you going? fish. I wonder if we can find any. I'm gonna reload real quick. Be foolish to not reload and go into battle. I probably should have went up. Damn it. That's okay. Oh, this is a bad storm. Okay. Oh, I wish okay. Let's take that. All right, here we go. This guy's right here. Oh, I suck. Shoot. Maya, oh, Maya, oh, Maya, oh. I have the Resident Evil herb on my back. Flash. That's kind of timed perfectly. Thanks, bus driver. I wish... What do I wish for? If I had one wish. I wish I had any anime or superhero power I wanted at any time. I would be too overpowered, but awesome. Spider-Gwen, Spider-Gwen. She does whatever Spider-Gwen does. Totally better than Spider-Man. Where'd my truck go? We're not here because I want health. I want potions. Yeah, I know. I read the. I got the time. Thank you. I was just like wondering if I wanted to continue or not because it's Friday and there's not a lot of people watching right now. The content is content. I'm gonna die. Oops. My oh. What did we get? Oh, I have 25 stars now. What's happening? Oh, this one looks kind of cool. Kind of reminds me of Star Wars. Wait, is this somebody we can get? Cutie. Is that a popsicle? Fire truck. This guy. Um... Really, guy? I don't know if this is hurting or helping my wrist. Four people going that way. You know what? I'm just gonna go over here. Someone's coming in. Not okay. Okay, I'm sorry. With my anxiety. Someone's here. Outside. I'm broken, I never pay attention. There. Oh, look at you. Same story, different